Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about a popping sound coming from the lawnmower. I'm going to tell you why it happens, because once you've figured out why it's happening, you can figure out how to stop it. Now, let me tell you about my situation with this lawnmower and why I heard a popping sound when I was trying to start it. And then I'll tell you what caused it and why it happens. So basically, I was about to start the lawnmower. So I turned the choke on. Okay, so on this lawnmower right here, there is a lever. And when you're about to start the lawnmower, you just pull that lever, you turn the choke on the lawnmower, which is kind of like priming it, which basically just feeds the lawnmower some additional gas. Okay, it just makes it easy to start when you haven't started the lawnmower in a week, a month, a year, whatever the case is. So I started it and I immediately stopped it because I was experiencing some problems with the lawnmower. So I stopped it while there was still all of that extra gas in the lawnmower. About a minute later, I tried starting it again and I heard a loud pop from the exhaust of the lawnmower. And the reason why that happened is because there was some unburnt fuel on the outside of the lawnmower, right in the exhaust pipe on the outside of the lawnmower, towards the outside of the lawnmower. And when I went to start it, that unburnt fuel ignited right towards the outer portion of that exhaust. And that caused that popping sound. So that is the main reason why the majority of people that hear a popping sound from the lawnmower will end up hearing the popping sound. It's basically because there's some unburnt fuel on the outside of that exhaust pipe. Okay. Now, although the popping sound by itself is not really anything to be, it's not really a dangerous thing for the most part. It's just a sign of that unburnt fuel. You have to figure out if there's a reason why there's that unburnt fuel on the outside of the exhaust pipe. So, it can be a sign of a bigger problem. Okay, if you hear it once and you're in the situation like me where you started your lawnmower after priming it or turning the choke on and then you stopped it, then you're probably okay. Let the lawnmower sit for a couple minutes. That fuel will hopefully dry up, and try and start it again. You should be fine. But if it's constantly making a popping sound, then what that means is that, your lawnmower it's what's called running rich. Now, when you're running rich with an engine, it means that basically there's just too much gas going to the engine. And then some of that gas remains unburnt, like the unburnt fuel, and that causes that popping sound. So you have to figure out what you need to do to allow it to run leaner, which is when you have more air in the air-fuel mixture. There are a few things that you can do, but generally speaking, like if you decrease the speed of the lawnmower, if you can control your lawnmower's rotating speed, if you decrease it really quickly, that might cause a popping sound because that causes some unburnt fuel. There are specific things that might cause a popping sound once or on occasion, like, starting the lawnmower immediately after you stopped it when it was primed, right? When it was running with a little bit of extra fuel, or decreasing the lawnmower engine speed, instead of gradually, you decrease it really quickly. Those are generally okay, but if it is constantly making a popping sound, or if it makes a loud popping sound and then it doesn't start again, that's when you have a problem. That's when you have to look into it a little bit further. But just as a rule of thumb, if it happens once, if you can narrow down the reason, it's generally okay. You can, try and make sure it doesn't happen again. It's not a big deal. If it happens constantly or without you being able to narrow down the reason, then you need to figure out why. That's really what it comes down to. But that's it. In this video, I just wanted to address a loud popping sound coming from a lawnmower. And I just wanted to tell you my story about the loud popping sound that I heard and what caused it, and in general, what causes it to happen with lawnmowers just like this one. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.